they would go and do a job, and they would work until the job was done, and then
Cold weather from say cold blue for
was
parts
it.
of our area tonight. We'll have the latest on that and your forecast. And the Garden State is looking into making its toll road rest stops into destinations.
Code blue.
We begin with breaking news out of Bridgeton tonight as we have received reports about a possible police-involved shooting there. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Von Mooney, and details are very limited at this time. But right now, we do know that police are on the scene at South Avenue and Henry Street, where witnesses say a man was gunned down by police just after 8 o'clock tonight. This is the view from an NBC helicopter where people have been gathering, as you can see at the scene. Now, as we said, details are still coming in at this hour, but we have spoken with police who did tell us that a man was taken to the hospital suffering from gunshot wounds, but they would not confirm if police were involved or, of course, the extent of injuries. Of course, we'll be keeping a close eye on this developing story, and we'll have all the latest information as it becomes available to us. It is getting pretty cold outside. The temperature is already nearing freezing, which is a bit of a change from what we have become accustomed to for much of December. Tonight, in anticipation of the potential danger with the colder weather, a code blue has been issued for Bridgeton through tomorrow. And for the latest on how low the mercury is expected to drop, let's head over to meteorologist Dan Skelton, who joins us in the South Jersey Weather Center. Dan.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, South Jersey. Good Tuesday evening to you. Yeah, it's cold, a lot colder than we were from Christmas into this past weekend, but really no colder than it should be this time of year. So not bad. Record cold, bitter cold, or even Arctic air per se. But live look right now at Weather Insurance Cam and our CRDA Weather Cam network in Antietam. Skies cleared out this afternoon. To have a cold night, you want clear skies, which we have. You want light winds, which we have. To have a really cold night, you want snow cover, which we do not have. But here's the result of 2 out of 3. I mean, we're around the freezing mark along the shore, 31 Surf City, Atlantic City. Up here at freezing Cape May, Parkway West, including the interior parts of Cape May County, north and west of Atlantic, Cumberland County, Pinelands, we're already in the low to mid-20s. 22 the cold spot, Millville, actually 21, one less than that in Town River. 24 is Atlantic County, Hamilton, Galloway, EHD, across the border, and Cumberland County and Byron, also doing 24.
Just missed the breaking news, guys.
Again,
We didn't break news.
My father always usually works at
Be quiet now, Celeste.
New Year's Eve, well, you step outside tonight, that's what it will be like tomorrow night, I think. Maybe a little more of a breeze, therefore a little more of a chill. Cold, but dry for the new year. How is the first week of 2015 shaping up? Details in your 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Dan. The flu has begun to take its toll on New Jersey. According to federal officials, the Garden State has joined 17 other states that have been hit hard by the virus. Pharmacies across the state have been working to help those affected by the virus that kills between 33 and 49,000 Americans each year cope with the symptoms. The flu has struck a little earlier this year as the season usually begins in January or February. This year's vaccine is less effective than in years past, but officials say it remains the best way to protect yourself and loved ones from getting sick. Meanwhile, more than 105,000 New Jersey residents chose new health insurance plans in the first month of open enrollment in the health insurance marketplace, including about 45,000 for the first time. The enrollment figures released this afternoon by the U.S. Health and Human Services Department show that 82% of those eligible to enroll were also eligible for federal tax credits. That is up from 79% during the first open enrollment period last year. The figures also show that nearly 21,000 were eligible for Medicaid. During the law's first year, 162,000 signed up in New Jersey. The report showed enrollment from November 15th through December 15th. Plans take effect on January 1st. More than 3.4 million people enrolled using healthcare.gov across the country. In North Wildwood, a group of senior citizens is suing their landlord for receivership, claiming the conditions of their apartment building are unsafe and unsatisfactory. Moldy walls and ceilings, carpets lifting off of the floor, and exposed pipes are just some of the complaints residents have with their landlord. They're suing him for repairs on the building and would like to see a new owner take over the building. Now, local lawmakers have also made their voices heard, asking the Department of Community Affairs to hold the building's owner accountable for ensuring a safe environment for residents.
We have sewage coming out of the front of the building. We have mold in every unit. We have mold on the outside. We have mold on the inside. Health-wise, it's horrible.
The tenant's lawsuit will go before a judge on January 21st. We attempted to contact the building's owner for
Not
this
even
story.
15 years old, that
He is
place.
on vacation. New Jersey is considering trying to make its toll road rest stops into destinations. A bill working through the legislature would require the operators of the Atlantic City Expressway, Garden State Parkway, and New Jersey Turnpike to study new revenue opportunities for rest stops. The result could be more billboards, cell phone towers, or even shops beyond the grab-and-go food and souvenirs there now. Another possibility is corporate sponsorships. Lawmakers say that the idea is to raise money for road repairs without charging the drivers. The measure has passed in the Assembly, but
A bar room.
yet by the courts. Winter may be in full force, but for one shore town, plenty of visitors are booking rooms and buying food thanks to Wildwood's Boardwalk Basketball Classic. Officials say nearly 80 teams participate in that.
Can I put on Channel 6 soon?
making it the largest
Please?
Yeah, we're watching the last 11 o'clock.
No, I didn't want to watch the whole thing. I just wanted to watch.
No, I wanna watch it.
I just wanted to watch the beginning. All right. Can we put on Channel 6, please?
Soriano says first-time visitors
Answer this story. All right.
coming back in the summer.
See what they're talking about next.
What it means is
Answer the story, please.
it would normally be empty or filled. Restaurants that wouldn't have anybody in it are filled. And it's just an infusion of money into the economy, but it also introduces this area to a lot of people who don't know anything about it.
While the tournament concludes today, local business owners say events at the convention center throughout the winter keep people coming to
Good-sized
town
arena.
during the off-season.
Huh.
It may have taken 4 months, but New Jersey finally has a jackpot winner for the Pick 6 drawing. The long drought came to an end last night after a ticket matching all 6 numbers was sold at the Acme Supermarket on South Dennis Road in Cape May Courthouse. The ticket is worth $9.3
Maybe during the commercial break I'll switch it. All right. Is that okay?
has not been hit since August 25th when 2 winners split nearly $4.5 million. Winning the lottery is a feat in itself, but to hit all 6 numbers, the odds are close to 14 million to 1. A South Jersey prosecutor is now investigating an accident in which a police cruiser struck and killed a 10-year-old boy walking to a friend's house for a sleepover. An autopsy performed yesterday on the boy, Matthew McCloskey, determined that he died of multiple injuries. The death was listed as accidental. Officials say the child was struck along a busy road in Franklin Township. It was around 7 o'clock on Sunday night. Gloucester County Prosecutor's Office says the vehicle being driven by 23-year-old patrolman Nicholas Losalento was heading to a call and that no other vehicles were involved in that crash. An alarming report out tonight starkly lays out the dangers faced day in, day out by those responsible for serving and protecting us. It shows an enormous jump from last year in the number of police killed in shooting incidents. The police advocacy group that put this report out fears what it is seeing on the streets lately is having an influence. A report tonight from NBC's Stephanie Goss.
Just this week, 2 officers were caught in gunfire in Los Angeles. And in Florida, a gunman fired on 2 sheriff deputies sitting in their squad cars. The motives are still unknown. A report out today says 126 in law enforcement lost their lives on the job in 2014, with a 56% increase in the number of police officers killed by gunfire in the last year. Of those, 15 were killed in ambush attacks. The total number of deaths is still below the decade average, but the head of the law enforcement group that conducted the report is concerned a growing anti-government sentiment may be triggering attacks. There have been months of nationwide protests calling for police reform after the deaths of unarmed black men and what some call persistent mistreatment by cops. Are protests to blame for increased violence against police officers?
No, these protests have been centered around respect for human life, dignity for human life.
But many in law enforcement worry about isolated messages like this one in New York earlier this month. Some officials in New York blame protests in part for the murder of 2 NYPD officers. At the funeral for Officer Rafael Ramos, 19-year-old Justin Ramos wore his father's uniform, the same uniform that made his dad a target.
Every time I attend a police officer's funeral, I always pray that it will be the last. But I know it won't.
That same day in Florida, another teenager said goodbye to her father, police officer Charlie Condon.
My dad died as a hero, but he was my hero before any of yours.
Families in mourning. Stark examples of what police officers put on the line every day. Stephanie Goss, NBC News, New York.
Police in Egg Harbor City are investigating a late-night shooting inside a local apartment complex. Authorities say 27-year-old Abenaldo Shelton in Atlantic City was shot in the arm inside one of the units at the Philadelphia Village Apartments on Cincinnati Avenue just after 10 o'clock last night. Police say there were 2 children in the home at the time, but they were not in the room where the shooting occurred. Shelton was rushed to the hospital for surgery and is expected to recover. Authorities say he is not being cooperative as they continue their investigation. It is believed that robbery was not the motive for the shooting, according to police. Still to come tonight on NBC 40 News at 11, the latest on the search for the missing AirAsia flight. We will have the latest there on that search and investigation right after the break.
Gotta watch the whole Channel 40 News.
Well, I was gonna watch the flight story and that's it. And then let's switch to Channel 6, alright?
You gotta go to bed.
Alright. Go to bed after the news.
Do you wanna see the Bridgeton Code Blue story?
We already did it.
They're big on that. Yeah, it's what's going through. Yeah, the poor homeless guy in Bridgeton, I guess a couple of years ago, went to go into one of those clothing dump thing, you know, he lost his life. So now they're very proactive. That's a shame.
And fitness professionals to help you get fit and stay fit. And you can get started today with no
You know, people living in 10 cities. Lakewood. Some of them have jobs, you know what I mean? They go to jobs every day. Lakewood has a Hasidic Jew.
That's a what?
What kind of Jews are they in Lakewood?
Hasidic.
Hasidic, yeah.
Orthodox.
Orthodox, yeah, Orthodox. They have
Yeah,
2
with the long hair and all.
Yeah, they got 2 kitchens or something, or?
They have to have a rabbi come in and.
Yeah, they have to put, the pork is on this countertop, and yeah. Well, they run that town. And then they had a tent city, and of course, they're giving the residents of the tent city a hard time.
We're giving the Jews a hard time?
No, the opposite. So then a group come in and put them all in apartments, but, you know, as the year ends, they get a year.
Joe, you're right in front of the television.
Some people want to live like that, though. They don't want to live in few of them.
Oh, they're gonna do World News.
There are a lot of questions tonight about what happened to Flight 8501, including how the crew planned to circumvent those storm cells. Well, the answer was the cockpit and flight data recorders. The so-called black boxes are recovered. With more on that and what investigators will be paying close attention to. NBC's Tom Costello reports.
If Flight 8501 is resting at the bottom of the Java Sea, a priority for search teams will be finding the tail section that holds the plane's cockpit voice and flight data recorders. While the flight was thought to be at 32,000 feet, FlightAware's radar image shows it at 36,300 feet. The pilot had asked to climb to 38,000 feet to get around bad weather, but air traffic control denied the request because of other air traffic in the area. Those other planes all managed to navigate around the storm and land safely, but at its last known location, AirAsia may have been near stall speed. The question, why?
Whatever occurred quickly and resulted in the crew not being able to successfully deal with it, and as a result, the airplane's at the bottom of the ocean.
Investigators will likely look at the plane's pitot tube that helped calculate its airspeed. If the tube's iced over in severe weather, the plane's flight computers could have displayed bad data, confusing the pilots. That's what happened with Air France 447 flying through a bad storm in 2009. The pilots panicked, grabbed the controls, then stalled and crashed the plane into the Atlantic. Former NTSB board member Steve Cheelander.
Well, if they had just taken their hands off of it, it would have flown okay, and they would have come out the other side, got their airspeed indicators back, put it back on autopilot, and they would have been fine.
Investigators learned what happened to Flight 447 only after retrieving the black boxes, which took more than 2 years. Now, search teams will begin listening for the underwater pings coming from AirAsia's black boxes. The U.S. Navy, already in the area, is offering listening technology.
Once you have, you can detect the sounds, then you can triangulate and fix the location of those black boxes on the ocean floor, and then figure out how you're going to go get them and recover them.
You're not gonna watch the rest of it?
No.
To reflect on your accomplishments. At Chevrolet, we've had quite a few.
This is their last 11 o'clock news?
Any other company.
Are you recording it?
Yeah, it was.
At the Chevy year-end event. Hurry, it all ends January 2nd. Current non-PM lessees can get the best offer of the year on this 2015 Chevy Equinox LT. Hurry, the Chevy year-end event ends January 2nd.
Where's Pat?
Oh, at your local Chevy dealer.
She's having a
Sleepy's
cigarette.
year-end holiday savings event is going on now. Save up to 70% off select mattresses throughout the store. With Simmons Queen set starting at just $289. And free delivery on Tempur-Pedic and more. Sleepy's, the only mattress professional.
Health Check is sponsored by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
An ocean of grief as families find out their loved ones are dead in that AirAsia plane crash. Indonesia's search and rescue chief tonight says 6 bodies have now been recovered of the 162 victims on board. A debris field was finally found today in the shallow waters of the Java Sea, about 10 miles from the plane's last known coordinates. The flight was headed from Indonesia to Singapore on Sunday when it went down in a severe thunderstorm. Some of the pieces of wreckage found today include an emergency exit door and a suitcase.
The only slight benefit is that for the people in there,